Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. Welcome, everybody. Come on in, come on in. My goodness, grief. I'm in California, so this affects me. I've got family members who've had to evacuate their homes. I'm going to share with you absolute proof. I've been saying this since day one. DEI is the most cancerous, contagious, abominable, destructive, dangerous virus disease. It is 1,000,006,000 times more infectious, contagious than Ebola, COVID, anything, because it's invisible. It's a psyop. You know, you fall down, you fracture your ankle or what have you. It's physical. You can see it. This is invisible because this is a parasitic mind virus implanted in society, not just America, but all over the world. I've got proof. It makes me so sad. I've got proof today. I'm going to share with you a lot. So buckle up, strap in, get comfortable, because this is going to be a big show. And I actually think this is going to probably get deleted. They're going to I know every fiber of my being, every molecule in my being is screaming that they're going to take this video down. So please, for the love of God, this is not for me. I don't care about me. It's not about vanity. This is about getting to the truth. This is about making common sense go viral. This is about our mandate on November 5th. I got a lot to share with you. As a matter of fact, replay viewers and live viewers, just let me know if you're here. Let me know if you can see me. I would greatly appreciate that if you could just let me know that you're here. Just say I am here in the comments below, so I can know that you're here. So right now, this is what we know. If you have been gone for a while or you have no clue what's going on, there are 4 major fires now in Southern California. When I say major, they are completely apocalyptic, like we've never seen before. I have lived in California since 1987, born and raised in the Midwest. But California is known for its wildfires. California is known for these disasters. And the Pacific Palisades fire, which started last evening, has destroyed hundreds of homes, hundreds of buildings and institutions. The Pacific Palisades fire, 30,000 people have been under evacuation order. There is 0% containment. And now there's an Eaton fire. Now there's, I've got family members that live close to LA. They've had to evacuate their homes. There's mandatory evacuation orders. And all of this could have been prevented. You've got the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. I hate to say how right I am. I really don't. I'm not one of these people that likes to say, I told you so. I really am not. But you've got the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. Karen Do Nothing, abysmal DEI hire Bass, who is in Ghana right now on taxpayer dollars to, of all things, like this. Does this even matter? Is this even important? How is this important? I have no idea how this is important. You know, there's reparations. It's just so bad. My home state is in absolute disarray. She's currently in Africa attending the inauguration of Ghana's new president. How is that serving LA? How is that serving the largest metropolitan area, which is about to host one of the largest global events, the Olympics, the Summer Olympics? We've got skyrocketing crime, skyrocketing taxes, skyrocketing budget deficit. You've got problems all over California because of Newsom and Karen Bass. And now this tragedy, we've got Santa Ana winds, also known as the devil winds. And now this tragedy erupts last night, and it is destroying people's homes. You've got insurance companies, as well as residents, as well as businesses leaving California. I want to play for you this clip right here, which is so heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking, this clip right here of this woman. Last night, the Eaton fire is, let's see, there's now a Hearst fire, 500 plus acres burn. But I want to share this with you. This is a woman who says her parents' fire insurance got canceled shortly before the fires ripped through Southern California. The woman said she is forced to defend the house herself. But, you know, Ukraine has $200 billion of our taxpayer dollars. They're doing just fine. You've got victims on the East Coast, Southern United States, Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Helene, still have no funding whatsoever, have no assistance whatsoever. This administration is an abysmal abomination. And by the way, we still haven't heard from our vice president, Kamala Harris. We still haven't heard from our quote unquote president, vegetable in chief, Joe Biden. Where is the federal funding? Where is the federal disaster emergency declaration? This is a emergency of epic proportions. I want to share with you this clip. Oh, we got a lot to share. Come on in, everybody. We got a lot to share. Please tap that thumbs up and share this, because I've got proof. I've got receipts that this is such a tragedy that is 100% preventable. Look at this clip right here. You're not going to believe this. I mean, you're just not going to believe this clip right here. Holy macadamia nut. My heart goes out. We have to share things like this. It must be shared. Listen up.
I know I'm not supposed to be here, but this is my parents' home.
I know the feeling.
And they just they got canceled from their fire insurance. So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old. And through the state of California, because of this, they're 90 years old. They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance. And these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance. So thank you, California insurance companies, supporting residents who pay taxes and love California. And they wonder why people leave California.
First and foremost, you did get your parents out safely.
I live in Sierra Madre, and my parents are in Sierra Madre, but...
And now you know that it is under evacuation as well, north of Sierra Madre Boulevard.
Yeah, I snuck here. You know, there's a will, there's a way. Probably shouldn't do it, but you know what? Under the circumstances, send me to jail. That's fine.
It is unbelievable what's happening here to the neighbors. Your parents' house is still standing. You had a hose. You're doing what you can.
I mean, I have a hose. It doesn't compare to these beloved neighbors that I've known. I was born and raised in this house, and I live in Sierra Madre, and I'm now 62 years old. And this is the house I was born and raised in, and I've never moved out of Pasadena, Sierra Madre, Hastings Ranch. You know,
well, let me tell you, it does help for people who aren't here to know what's happening. So you sharing that story, it does a service. I came up to you without even asking your name.
My name is Lynn Levin Guzman. This is the Levin household. I'm a nurse for over 30 years in emergency room. I deal with fire all the time and firefighters. And this situation here Luckily, people got out because those are my patients. The people who are not so fortunate to get out.
As you mentioned, let's just hope everyone's okay. Lynn, I'm going to let you get back to it. And for you,
Can you believe this? You pay, imagine this. Imagine paying the kind of taxes that you pay in California. It's the most exorbitant cost, okay? And you have a governor, Gavin Newsom, the Joker, an absolute American psycho. I call him the American psycho, Gavin Newsom, who has spent billions and billions and billions of dollars on the homelessness industrial complex, spent billions and billions of dollars on a high-speed rail system that hasn't even been done. There's nothing. It's yielded nothing. We have the highest budget deficit in the history of our country, over $80 billion. Imagine paying all your taxes. Imagine paying all your property taxes, all of your self-employed tax, SERPA tax, state tax, God knows how many other taxes. I live in California, believe me. It is literally one of the most expensive, besides maybe New York City. It's in the top 2, 3 most expensive places to live, which is why U-Haul has recorded World Guinness Book of World Record exoduses of residents, small, medium, large businesses, institutions, and now insurance companies are leaving. Imagine paying your taxes on time, being a hardworking, red, white, and blue American citizen, and there's not enough firefighters? Excuse me? There's no water in the reservoirs? Yeah, there's no water. Firefighters are now trying to fight some of the worst fires we've seen on record in California, and there's no water in the fire hydrants. Make it make sense. I see some people commenting, well, you voted for this. I didn't vote for this. Trust me. I didn't vote for this. Yes, California goes blue. We can get into why. It has a lot to do with the propagandist media, which lies constantly and unceasingly. But I've got so much to share with you. It's just absolutely absurd. I've got so much to share with you. My thoughts and prayers go out to everybody. Rick Caruso said this is like a third world country. Rick Caruso saying there's zero water coming out of the fire hydrants, and Mayor Bass is in Ghana. I want you to listen to this. This is the guy who I voted for. Well, actually, I'm not in that district. I live a couple hours away from Los Angeles County. But somebody I said is the last hope. I did say this. Go check the record books. I said Rick Caruso is the last hope for Los Angeles. And they voted for Mayor Karen Bass, the DEI Mayor Karen Bass. Listen to this. And now we're all paying the consequences. We're all paying the consequences. Watch this. I'm going to share this quick video right here of Rick Caruso literally explaining exactly what's going on. And I've got so much more to share with you. Stick around. Listen to this.
My heart goes out, obviously, to the people with their homes, and I'm watching the small businesses around us go up in flames. This is people's livelihoods, so it's devastating. But what is most concerning to me is our first responders and our firefighters who are trying to battle this. There's no water in the Palisades. There's no water coming out of the fire hydrants. This is an absolute mismanagement by the city. It's not the firefighters' fault, but it's by the city. And I'm going to be very honest. We've got a mayor that's out of the country, and we've got a city that's burning, and there's no resources to put out fires. So if you look at your pictures, you don't see the firefighters there because there's nothing they can do. And it looks like we're in a third world country here. Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot of tough questions that we need to ask the mayor and the city council and our representatives and the county representatives. Why didn't you work to mitigate this? What was your brush mitigation program? I heard you earlier talking about it's been dry because there hasn't been rain. That's not the biggest problem here. The brush up in these hills that are controlled by the city and the county, I would bet you that if they haven't been handled, mitigated, pruned, removed for probably 30 or 40 years. This was a disaster waiting to happen. And what's predictable is preventable. And who's paying the price are all of these people in their homes and their businesses tonight. Now, we'll rebuild.
I want to just really quickly, what I just posted right now in the comments that you see up on your screen, a very important fact. This is so tragic. Meanwhile, billions and billions of dollars goes to the homelessness industrial complex. And by the way, homelessness in California has increased exponentially year over year. Gavin Newsom has promised to end homelessness for 25 plus years. Even when he was mayor of San Francisco, he's been talking about ending homelessness. It has increased exponentially, YOY, year over year. But a couple of years ago, insurance companies put in the necessary requests to the state of California to raise their rates. They were denied. So most of them pulled out of California. It's been extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get home insurance here since then. Many of these now destroyed houses, many of them are uninsured because California wouldn't let the companies raise rates to compensate for the past fire. I don't know about you, but I'm happy to pay a higher premium if it means I don't lose my entire livelihood, which I shouldn't have to have lost. I shouldn't have to have lost my entire livelihood if you guys would have done the right job at the right time. That was Caruso. So you want to hear the proof I have? Well, here we go. Here's the proof I have. Here's the receipts. Fire chief, okay? LA fire chief. Okay, this is LA fire chief, okay? Her name, she's the LA fire chief, and her identification, her name is Chief Kristen Crowley. She boasts about being the first female and LGBTQ fire chief in the LA Fire Department. Well, guess what? Promoting a culture of DEI is her number one priority. Look at this. Kristen M. Crowley, hold on a second, is the 19th fire chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department. With her wife and children by her side, Chief Crowley took the oath of office March 25th, 2022, becoming the first female and LGBTQ fire chief in the LA Fire Department. This is such an abomination. This is what November 5th was all about, my fellow Americans and global citizens. I am telling you, DEI is the most cancerous disease. The bubonic plague has nothing on DEI. It is discriminatory in its very definition. Creating, supporting, and promoting a culture that values diversity, inclusion, and equity while striving to meet and exceed the expectations of the communities are Chief Crowley's priorities. And she is grateful for the opportunity to serve the city of Los Angeles. Wait a minute, time out. Wait a minute, time out. You mean to tell me your priorities are not to save the lives of Angelenos residents, Los Angeles residents, and their homes that they pay taxes on, that they work hard for, that possess their families, their livelihood, their everything, their pictures, their things, their entire lives? That's not your priority? Her priority is promoting DEI, my fellow Americans and global citizens. Make it make sense. Here she is right here. I'm going to share a quick clip of this. Well, actually, first, I'm going to talk about, here's a clip of her when she first was established. This is her claiming that she's going to be creating a DEI bureau. This is where her priorities lie. This is where her priorities were. And I got so much more. They're going to delete this video, so share this and like this. I promise you, Gavin Newsom's probably going to arrest me for this video. You need to share this out, tap the like button. It doesn't cost you a thing if you love America and you care about getting our America back to sanity. If you're happy that we won and you want us to be back, if you're like me and you want to live in the America that you grew up in, for your kids, grandkids, and grandkids' grandkids, share this video. Tap the thumbs up. Holy macadamia nut. Listen to this. This is absolute dreck.
Los Angeles Fire Department is launching its first ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau. It is dedicated to ensuring a fair and equal workplace environment.
Eyewitness News reporter Christian Cordero is live in North Hollywood with more on what it entails and why it's necessary. Christian?
Ellen, Colleen, the discrepancies are stark, even just on paper. The LAFD this year hired its first ever female chief, and it says so far this year, 8% of its applicants have been women. That might sound like a small number, but it's actually twice the percentage of female firefighters currently in the department. Every day, the LAFD is called upon to respond to crises, and today it is taking a step to resolve one of its own. The department's first ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau will launch in January, 1 year since its first ever female fire chief, Kristen Crowley, was appointed.
So by creating this new bureau, our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau, now we actually have the staff to do the work when it comes to doing a deep dive in regard to how we do business, how we take care of one another in the fire stations and in our work environment.
The plan is to do so by adding training and enforcing accountability. Calls for accountability have echoed for years. In 2021, women's advocacy groups, including one representing female firefighters, pushed for changes at the highest level, saying a system within the department exposes them to abuse, bullying, and a culture of intimidation and retaliation.
But wait, there's more. I have more. But wait, there's more. If you think that's bad, wait till you get a load of this. So here, I have another clip here of her directly. Again, this is LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley, who became the LA Fire Chief in 2022, who started this Bureau of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, didn't earn it, DEI. By the way, you might be saying, Nez, are you a racist? Nez, No. No, as a matter of fact, I'm not. DEI is exactly that. DEI is racist. Why? Because it doesn't base hiring, it doesn't base their criteria on selecting, awarding, prioritizing, and hiring the best person for the job. That's America. America is a meritocracy. The best person, regardless of skin tone, some random arbitrary characteristic that means absolutely nothing. I don't care what you're, look, I've been a business owner for 30 years. I could give a rat's ass. I could give a rat's ass about what your sexual orientation is. I don't care. I don't care what your artificially random arbitrary skin pigmentation is. I don't care. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care. I don't care about your ethnicity. I don't care about your I care that you're here legally, of course. But that's about it. I just want to know one thing as a business owner. And 99.9, are there exceptions? Of course. But 99.99% of business owners are just like me. The only thing we care about is, can you help me solve my problem? I need somebody to help me with marketing. Can you solve my problem? I need an operations manager. Can you solve my problem? I need somebody to direct efficiency more and streamline things. Can you solve my problem? I need somebody to organize, etc., etc. I need somebody to be an administrative assistant. I don't care where you're from. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your gender is. Can you solve my problem? Period. Period. Well, Nez, you're such a right-wing extremist. Why? Why am I a right-wing extremist? Because I believe in practical, normal, common sense things. That's the mission of our channel. Make common sense go viral. We've gone bat beep crazy over the last 8 years. We have gone bat beep crazy 12 of the last 16 years. Ever since Obama won in 2008, this country has been more divisive, more dissension, more hate, more vileness, more vitriol, more disconnectedness we've ever seen in our lives. I want to go back to normalcy. If you're with me, let me know in the comments down below. Give me an amen if you just want practicality. Give me an amen in the comments down below. But here's another clip. Check this out. Here's another clip. I've got more proof too. I've got documentation. I've got documentation. And I'm not even Spanish or French. Oh, God, if you don't laugh, you cry. You know, it's like that old blues song. When you see me laughing, I'm laughing just to keep from crying. If you see me laughing, I'm laughing just to keep from crying. What else am I going to do? What else am I going to do? I'm trying to save my country, man. I'm trying to save my kids. I'm trying to save my grandkids. I'm trying to save... You know what? I'm really, beyond all of that, I'm trying so hard to honor, because I was given so many opportunities. There's a lot of grifters in this space, man. There's a lot of grifters. I see them every single day. They don't give a rat's ass about this country. They're just trying to have sensationalism and clickbaity titles, etc., so they can, I don't know, God knows what their motives are. I don't know. Maybe they want to be famous. I don't give a rat's ass about it. As a matter of fact, I get very shy. My wife and I went on an anniversary trip not that long ago. We got recognized like 2 or 3 times by people who say they watch the show. To me, I get really embarrassed. I'm like very like shy. I'm like, oh my God. I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm looking for. This is going to sound idealistic and you're not going to believe me. If I were you, I wouldn't maybe believe me either. But the whole reason I'm doing this is to honor the people who fought, sacrificed for our country. I think our forefathers, our framers, are some of the most badass human beings that ever existed. When they stood up to King George III, to the tyranny, taxation without representation, and they concocted and composed the greatest government, the greatest system, the greatest document in human history. We need to honor that. We need to respect that. We need to uphold that. And all the millions of service members, men and women, who've sacrificed for this country. Give me an amen in the comments. Listen to this. So this is why I say share this. I don't care about me. This is why I say tap the thumbs up. It's not for, hey, look at me. No, it's not narcissistic. I could care less. I want the truth to get out there, because you're not going to get this at the woke propagandist media. Don't get me started. Okay, here we go. Check this out. This is our DEI fire chief.
I'm super inspired.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I said, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. She's already looking at ways to change that. She's quick to point out that doing so has a greater purpose, attracting the best and brightest for the job.
They feel included, they feel valued, and they feel part of a cohesive team.
The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, wow, I didn't even know that was an opportunity for me.
How about you just hire the best person for the job? If I get on an airplane, how many of you feel this way? If you get on an airplane, do you really care if they're black, white, purple, orange, yellow, LGBTQ or not? Do you really give a rat's ass? I don't. Are you qualified? Do you have the necessary skills based on merit to warrant you flying me and my family in a big, gigantic hunk of metal in the sky? That's all I care about. When are we going to stop the madness, y'all? When are we going to stop the madness? I've got more. I've got receipts. I've got receipts like you've never believed. LA County recently posted this video on how they make their firefighters train in cultural inclusivity and equity and diversity. Check this out. My goodness gracious. Check this out. Oh, wait, there's music here. I might not be able to play this. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to play that because I'm going to get copyrighted strike. By the way, don't ever forget this. Gavin Newsom and his colleagues, imagine this. Not only did he waste all this money on the homelessness industrial complex, not only did he waste all this money on this high-speed rail, and God knows how many millions of other things, but remember when Gavin Newsom said he's going to Trump-proof California? When Trump got elected? He's going to essentially deny the will of the people? Yeah. Gavin Newsom called for a special legislative session, if you can believe this, so he could increase funds, okay, with Jesse Gabriel for California's DOJ to potentially sue the Trump administration. He says, quote, this needs to be ready in case they break the law and we're not going to be caught flat-footed. Instead of preparing for this tragedy, we have to share this. We have to share this. I want you to listen to this. This is so important. Listen to this. Instead of preparing for this tragedy, what does he do? He spends and expends all of our taxpayer dollars on making California Trump-proof, actually funneling our funds to support legal fees of illegal aliens. Let me repeat that. He siphoned taxpayer dollars. He siphoned our hard-earned tax dollars to fund legal fees for illegal aliens who could potentially be deported. Instead of putting Americans first, legal, hardworking, tax-paying citizens first, he puts illegal aliens above us. Listen to this.
Not be in a position where we don't have to file a lot of these lawsuits. This is to be ready in the case that they break the law, that they violate the U.S. Constitution, that they are doing things that are unlawful or unconstitutional, and we're not going to get caught flat-footed.
And you know, there's a lot of people, not just Republicans, who see this and say that this is just Gavin Newsom trying to run for president and put out a stunt as a messaging thing, and this isn't necessary. What do you say to those people?
I would say to them, look at what happened last time. I'd point them to the 120 lawsuits that the state of California filed last time Donald Trump was president. I point them to the incredible work that Javier Becerra did, the incredible work that attorneys in the California Department of Justice did. Everything from environmental policy to fundamental rights to reproductive freedom to our immigrant communities to California's taxpayers and their resources. All that stuff is potentially at stake. So again, this is coming more from learning from history, learning from what we saw in the first Trump administration, listening to what the president-elect has said on the campaign trail, reading Project 2025, and taking him seriously on his.
This is such garbage, absolutely garbage. Learning from past history. We've had some of the worst disasters related to fire more than anything else, more than even earthquakes. And we got earthquakes in California. This is an absolute abomination. These people are vile, disgusting human beings. Gavin Newsom is one of the worst human beings in history. One of the worst human beings in history. By the way, Trump responded to this. I'm going to share that with you too. Check this out. This is huge. The LA Fire Department, okay? I want you guys to see this. I'm going to share this in just a second. The LA Fire Department passed a racial equity plan, okay? I want to share this with you. This is unbelievable. My goodness gracious. I'm going to talk about the water in just a second. But let me see if I can actually zoom in here a little bit. So yeah, so the LA Fire Department passed a racial equity plan to end, quote, get this, systemic, institutional, and structural racism in Los Angeles. Part of its chart to map out the race of every employee to make sure that they are diverse enough. To make sure that they are diverse enough. Look at this. Look at this chart right here. You can see, I mean, this is like next level Orwellian dystopian nightmare stuff right here. Racial equity staff breakdown. White male, black male, Hispanic male, Asian male. They break it down in this chart, and if there's not enough diversity, they rectify that based on arbitrary, completely unrelated to skills and meritocracy, unrelated to qualifications, purely based on race. Shame on you, Karen Bass. Shame on you, Gavin Newsom. This is a travesty. You have blood on your hands. And if Kamala Harris would have won, God, thank God Almighty. Thank you, Jesus. Kamala didn't win. We would have had this times 100x. You know, I don't like to be very defeatist or fatalistic. That's not my nature. That's not really who I am. I'm not one of these people who's fatalistic at all. And I'm kind of an eternal optimist, to be honest with you. But I'm telling you right now that, back in my day, most of you guys are my age, if not older. But, back in my day, if your candidate lost, you didn't fear for your life. You didn't fear for your kids. You didn't fear for your grandkids. You were upset. You probably were going to pay more taxes. You probably were going to, deal with a lot more obstacles, impediments, blockades, etc. But I never, ever felt in my entire existence, okay? Every election that I've been a part of, I've been alive for, even prior, because I do my research, I do my due diligence, I do my qualitative, quantitative research. I've never felt so fatalistic or I've never felt more grave as I did this election. And I'm telling you right now, with every fiber of my being, it would have been the end of our republic. I'm not being histrionic. I'm not being dramatic. It would have been the end of our glorious republic. I want you to feast your eyes on this. This is a fact. This is a fact. Back in 2014, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, California had a $2.7 billion water storage failure. In 2014, voters handed California $2.7 billion under Prop 1 to secure the state's water future with new storage projects. 10 years later, not a single reservoir is complete. Gavin Newsom, you are a disaster. You are a walking haircut that passes for a man. You are a walking abomination. You are a bipedal tragedy. The centerpiece, Sites Reservoir, promised to add 1.5 million acres of feet of storage, but thanks to endless environmental reviews, delays, skyrocketing costs, construction never started. Meanwhile, fires rage, water supplies dwindle. My fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens, this isn't just inefficiency. This is a masterclass in government gridlock. This is the reason why I keep saying, I know these people. I've worked with these people. They're all elitist, smug, condescending, look down their nose academics, which is why we love Trump. They are the antithesis to authenticity. That's what they are. Where's the progress, Gavin Newsom? How long before California burns completely down while important projects drown in their own bureaucracy? It is a nightmare of epic proportions. Now hear this. Now hear this. And by the way, I got Trump's response coming up soon. And I also have a funny video from Adam Carolla. I don't know if you know, comedian and podcast host, one of the very first to do podcasting. He applied to be an LA firefighter and was told he had to wait 7 years because he wasn't Black, Hispanic, or female. I'm going to share that in a second. I also have Trump's response in just a second. But LA Mayor Karen Bass cut fire department funding by $17.6 million months before these wildfires turned the city into a hellscape. Now, when I say, this is courtesy of the New York Post, when I say that Rick Caruso was a Los Angeles' last hope, that wasn't just a plea or a lamentation. That was a fact. That was a fact. She cut almost $18 million in funding. And anybody who tells you that elections don't have consequences, anybody that tells you that their vote doesn't count, anybody that tells you, it doesn't matter. You know, I was there, by the way. In my 20s, I didn't give a rat's ass. You know, I was a dumb kid, young, dumb, and full of you-know-what. I was a stupid kid. I'm trying real hard. I've got kids in elementary school and junior high. I'm trying real hard to teach them your vote not only counts, it is a moral imperative. There are consequences, the likes that we have never seen, and they bleed in every artery of life. You may not feel it directly. You may not even know it directly or indirectly. Every election has consequences. This is a travesty. This is an absolute travesty. $17.6 million. Here's Adam Carolla. I want to share this. Here's Adam Carolla. I want to share this because this is so interesting to me. Adam Carolla actually tried to apply to be an LA firefighter. I don't know how long ago this was. It was years ago. I'm not sure exactly when this was, but I think this is interesting. He's, again, if you don't know who Adam Carolla is, he's obviously a staunch. He's lived in California longer, as long as, if not longer than I have. And this is him talking about him trying to apply. Check this out.
Geez, I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I graduated North Hollywood High with a 1.7 GPA. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps. And I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not Black, Hispanic, or a woman. We'll see in about 7 years. And I went to a construction site and dug ditches and picked up garbage for the next 7 years. I got a letter in the mail sent to my father's house saying, your time has come to do the written exam for the LA Fire Department. I took it and I was standing in line and I had a young woman of color standing behind me in line. And I said, just out of curiosity, when did you sign up to become a fireman? Because I did it, or a person, 7 years ago. And she said, Wednesday. That is an example of my white privilege. It's
wow. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? What does that tell you, everybody? When I tell you that DEI kills, when I tell you it's the most cancerous disease, parasitic psyop, it's an invisible disease, which makes it even more it augments its deadliness because it's invisible and you can't see it. When I tell you these things, I'm not just saying this. I'm not just saying this for kicks and giggles. This is a reality. This is a reality. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You know, Biden and Gavin Newsom recently did the largest water dam removal in U.S. history because tribal leaders said to save the fish. Wait till you see this clip right here. Bravo. Great minds think alike, don't they? Listen to this.
These dams are coming down, and it's about damn time.
Governor Kate Brown, Governor Gavin Newsom, U.S. Secretary of Interior Deb Haaland, and tribal leaders all coming together to celebrate the world's largest dam removal along the Klamath River Thursday. The groups meeting at Iron Gate Fish Hatchery in Hornbrook. Last month, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission issued the final approval of the historic plan to remove 4 dams on the Klamath River in California and Oregon. The decision is a culmination of years of work on the project's licensee, PacifiCorp, Pacific Power's parent company, on the parts of Oregon and California, and several state and local agencies, along with several tribes.
The folks out there that exercised your leadership every single day, that dialectic that we had throughout this process, where you expected and demanded more. You expressed that at times. And sometimes it was uncomfortable. Other times it was absolutely justifiable. I just want to thank you for making this moment possible.
The Klamath Basin watershed covers 9.4 million acres, an area larger than 9 U.S. states. Leaders of the Klamath, Yurok, and Karuk tribes attended Thursday. The tribes say the project will revitalize nearly 400 miles of the Klamath River and its tributaries, hoping to help restore river health and fish populations.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, fish populations, that's more important than saving hardworking citizens' human lives. So instead of fire hydrants being filled with water, instead of reservoirs actually having the necessary emergency resources, we saved fish. We saved the fish. That's more important to these guys. We saved the fish. Here's Trump. I want to share this. Here's Trump, and he actually responded today to this, but this was 4 months ago. I'm going to share a clip. 4 months ago, Trump warned California about forest and water management. Do you think Newsom listened? Well, you be the judge of that. Check this out. Here's Trump 4 months ago. Listen to this. Our great leader.
And you have so much water, and all those fields that are right now barren, the farmers would have all the water they needed. And you could revert water up into the hills where you have all the dead forests, where the forests are so brittle, because no place is like California. I go to Austria. The head of Austria tells me, you know, we have trees that are much more flammable than what you have in California. We never have forest fires because they maintain their forests. And you have all that water that could be used to, as water, what they call water flow, where the where the land would be damp. And you'd stop many of these horrible fires that are costing billions and billions of dollars by the federal government, et cetera. So one thing I'm going to do for California, vote for me, California. I'm going to give you safety. I'm going to give you a great border, and I'm going to give you more water than almost anybody has. And the farmers up north are going to be able to use 100% of their land, not 1% of their land.
Amen to that. Do you think Gavin Newsom listened? Well, of course he didn't listen. Of course he didn't listen. Here we are stuck in this absolute calamity. Here we are stuck in this absolute calamity. Here's Trump's response right here. He just posted this. He just posted this on Truth Social at 11:40 a.m. January 8th today. I want to share this with you. Here's Trump's response. Trump says, Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called the smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work. Didn't work, but didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He is the blame for this. On top of it all, no water for fire hydrants, not firefighting planes, a true disaster. 100%. 100%. He's right. He's absolutely right. Absolute tragedy. If you missed all the footage that I posted, I went live last night and I've got a lot of footage. James Woods, one of the few Holly weirdos out there that actually has some sanity in his cranium. His home in the Pacific Palisades was affected by this, as many of his neighbors as well. And I think, I'm not 100% sure. Last I checked, his home was avoided the fire, but maybe not. You're not going to believe what this University of Missouri. I want everybody to write to the University of Missouri, because this is Karen Piper. Karen Piper, okay, I posted this on X. Karen Piper is what a shock. She's an English professor, post-colonial studies, a PhD, pile high BS, a worthless degree for a worthless human being. She posted this. You guys know what I feel like of the indoctrination camps, aka higher education. She posted this. Karen Piper, Dr. Piper. James Woods' house is burning down. It's karma calling. University of Missouri. University of Missouri. College of Arts and Sciences. This is repulsive. This is evil. And she's teaching our children. I want everybody, and I mean everybody, to go to the University of Missouri's website, and I want you to write to them. How could you? I'm going to leave this up on the board so you guys can screenshot this, okay? I want everybody, maybe my mods could share a link to this, okay? So, actually, you know what? I'm going to leave a link right now in the comments. This is the University of Missouri website right here. I want you to write to them. That's what I want you to do. I'm going to leave a link in the comments right now. And this is the actual website. It is missouri.edu. Or if you just type in University of Missouri in the on Google, you will see their website. This heathen, this cretin needs to go down. She needs to go down. That is an absolute travesty. An absolute travesty. There's no way. She should be fired immediately. Not only she should be fired, she should be prosecuted. I believe in free speech, of course, but this is just a travesty. At the very least, the university needs to know who this person is and what she has said. So if you just Google University of Missouri, Karen Piper is her name. She has a PhD. I mean, can you believe this? She has a PhD. This is their Twitter handle. It's at Missouri. You can all tweet out. You can all tweet out to them right now and say, "How dare you?" You can retweet my post. Okay. You can retweet my post. As a matter of fact, I'll share that on. I posted this on X. You can retweet my post. Okay. I will post that in the comments as well. The actual link to my post. Repost that, retweet that. I'm just posting it right now because this individual is an absolute travesty, an absolute shame, and she needs to be held accountable. She needs to be held accountable. Absolute travesty. All thoughts and prayers. Karen Bass is still out of the country, by the way. All thoughts and prayers. If you're living in LA, please be safe. Give your thoughts and prayers to everybody who's affected by this. Pray for California. Pray for all of those involved. This has been a tragedy of epic proportions. I'm getting a new video that let's see here. I'm getting new video that now this is the Pacific Palisades Library. Which has now gone up in smoke. Pray for California. So many people have lost their homes. There's 0% containment. So here's what I want to say. There's 0% containment. There's 4 new fires. There's an Eaton fire that started. Apparently now I'm getting word that President Biden is going to join Governor Newsom. But your thoughts, your prayers, and the real tragedy of all this is that all of this could have been 100% preventable and avoided. This is the consequence of poor leadership, my fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens. This is the consequence of elections. This is the consequence of bureaucratic nightmares that don't care about their constituents, don't care about people's lives, people's homes, but they care about the worst things imaginable. They care about the worst things imaginable. And this needs to stop. It needs to stop. Prayers for California. I'm going to give shout outs to all the live new members. Congratulations, Leo, for becoming a new member. Thank you, Julie Jack from Kansas, for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Death Salance. It's great to see you. $5 super chat. Kamala is going to make sure to get that $750 check in the mail. Yeah, exactly. Well said. Jim Barron, you're the best. We got the best mods in the business. Thank you, GW, for the $5 super chat. How many feet is that footage? Video is a much better term. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, GW. Thank you, Bryce Lady, for the $19.99 super sticker. God bless you. Thank you, Andres, for the 1,000 ARS. Wokeness and communism is drowning the world in Uruguay. The left-elected government will take over in March, and they already announced criminals, once released, they will get a government-paid rent for life and a monthly salary of 1,000 USD per month for life as well. It's just a tragedy. Thank you, Jack, for the $5 super chat. Trump will Trudeau, Newsom, and bail California out, but there will be conditions. Vance will win in 28. If not, it's truly over. Thank you so much. Well said. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you so much. Don't forget, please, to tap the thumbs up. Sign up for our free newsletter in the pinned comment. If you love America, tap that thumbs up. It's absolutely free. I will keep you posted. Follow, subscribe. It's absolutely free. I'll keep you posted on anything and everything that comes up. We might have a special guest on our show, a Fox contributor, come on our show later. So if I were you, sign up for our free newsletter. It's absolutely free. Doesn't cost you a thing, so you don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. And as always, may God bless you. May God bless California, all the fire victims, families, and loved ones. And God bless the United States of America.